Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis and our opponent is The Answer. Well, we don't have a 1-mana play, so we'll just go ahead and put that down tapped. It is June, which means it's Evergreen Tribal Month. And our Evergreen term we've chosen to concentrate on for this deck is Menace. A creature with Menace can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, so if they don't have removal, we're going to get a hit in first, because every creature just about in this deck has Menace. Now Shakedown Heavy has Menace. And we're just going to get rid of that. It looks like we're up against a ninja deck. First Blood is ours. And I have learned to be wary of ninja decks, so they can get us. Let's go do that. Bring down the tramway. And they probably have 3 or 4 Fading Hopes in here. They have at least 2 for sure. There's a standard ninja configuration deck that's out there. And now, we can just put down 2. Hopefully they don't have 2 bounce spells. There's one to tap one of us. I'm willing to make that trade. What are they going to do? They just kill it anyway. Okay, but they tap out to do it. Yeah, let's put down the Furnished Punisher. We'll go ahead and attack. See if they're willing to take 6 points of damage or not. They're not, so I get 2 untapped blockers. The problem is with their flyers, they can fly right over my head. That means they can use their ninja tricks with just about anything they want to. Let's see what they got. Big 5/5 creature. Still not willing to take the damage, so let's go ahead and put this down. Oh no, I can't afford that, can I? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why can't I? Oh, because we're in the middle of an attack. Duh. Let's do the damage, do the damage. Now I've still got 2 blockers. And I guess we go ahead and do that. They tap the heavy, which means they can get an untapped blocker through. Okay, do you have another removal spell? They're blue. They take a while to think. You gotta wait for them. I'm not sure what that was for. They could have... Yeah, they misplayed that. Okay. Yeah, that was a wasted spell on their part. Evidently, they didn't have enough left in their hand that they felt confident they could handle all of our Menace attackers. Alright, let's go ahead and show you the entire deck. And we did flying already, which is a form of evasion. Menace is a form of evasion as well. So just figured we'd knock it out early on in the month. And once a year I do this. This is the beginning of my 3rd year on YouTube doing Magic the Gathering stuff. It's intended a lot for newer players so that they can see, hey, here's a keyword Menace. If you haven't played with it a lot, here's an entire deck out of Menace, and here's some games that focus entirely about how it works as an offensive strategy, and give you some tips to maybe beat it. And here we have 3 cut downs for early removal. Blade of the Oni is a Kamigawa card, so it's just a 3/1 with Menace to start with. If you reconfigure it, then the equipped creature has base power and toughness 5/5, still has Menace, and it gets to be a black demon. Knight of Dust Shadow has Menace, and your opponents can't gain life. You can pump it up for 2 mana each turn, give it +1/+1. Our Invasion of Asgul, nice little removal battle card. If we go and get rid of the battle part of it later and hit it and do 4 points of damage, we get the Ashen Reaper, which also has Menace. Biting Palm Ninjas, so we do have one of our own ninjas in here. We could bring it down. It comes down with the Menace counter automatically if we hit the opponent. It has to be the Biting Palm Ninja specifically that deals the combat damage. You can remove the Menace counter, they reveal their hand, and you can exile a card from their hand. Shady Traveler turns from a 2/3 with Menace into a 4/4 with Menace when day turns into night. 2 of the Shakedown Heavies, you saw that. They wouldn't let us hit them that much. They just give us card draw. Brimstone Vandal, if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as it enters the battlefield. Whenever we switch from day to night, we're back again. The Vandal deals 1 damage to each opponent. Fearful Villager, another Innistrad werewolf, 2/3 with Daybound at nighttime, becomes 4/3 with Menace. Flowstone Kavu, this one's Dominaria. It's 2/3 with Menace, and you can change it. You can pump it up with just 1 red mana only, and so we've got room to pump it up twice and turn it into a 4/1. The Furnace Punisher. It only costs 3/3, and you get a 3/3 with Menace to start with. Not a bad deal. But also at the beginning of each player's upkeep, the Punisher deals 2 damage to that player unless they control 2 or more basic lands. So if you're playing against fancy decks that are like 5 colors, then you're going to face a whole bunch of double lands and special lands, non-basic lands, and they will be punished if we can get a Punisher out. That's for sure. 1 Peerless Samurai, 2/3 with Menace. If it attacks alone, the next spell costs 1 less to cast. Professional Facebreaker from Nuka Penna, 2/3 with Menace when we do combat damage. Doesn't have to be Professional Facebreaker the way that Biting Palm Ninja has to be combat damage from Biting Palm Ninja. Here, any creature that hits you create a treasure token with. And then we can exile the treasure and exile the top card of your library and play the card. For removal, 4 copies of Long Reach of Night. Each opponent sacrifices a creature unless they discard a card, and then we get a Menace creature back with Animus of Night's Reach. Wartrain Slasher, in case we do get Invasion of Asgul down, we could send this at the battle. Whenever the Slasher attacks the battle, double its power till end of turn. Overwhelming Remorse, 1 more removal card. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. It's a little more expensive to start with. We expect to have some of these other creatures out ahead of time. We expect our opponent to be able to take care of some of those creatures, so we do expect this to be cheap by the time we get it. Sheoldred from March of the Machines, legendary Phyrexian Praetor with 4/5 with Menace. And if we get 8 or more cards in the opponent's graveyard, we can turn it into the Enchantment Saga and do a whole bunch of other great damage with it. 2 board whites would burn down the house for 5 damage to each creature. In the expensive spells, we have Invasion of Fiora to destroy all the creatures we want to. Olivia's Tenants, whenever they attack, you create that many blood tokens. And Phyrexian Fleshgorger has not only Menace, also has Lifelink and Ward. And finally, Gloomfang Mauler. which is a 5/5 with Menace. It has backup 2, meaning we can put 2 counters onto the Mauler, or we can put 2 counters onto another creature, and they would get Menace for the turn if they didn't have Menace. As it just turns out, all of my other creatures already have Menace. But also you can swamp cycle it, meaning if you just pay 2 mana, it'll go fetch a swamp from the deck, and then you shuffle your deck. So that's the idea. It's just mostly a bunch of Menace creatures, a little bit of interaction for removal with the battles. And just one creature with Menace can be enough to swing the game, actually, if your opponent doesn't have enough of an defensive creature line. Because you not only need 2 creatures, but you need 2 creatures that are enough to take out the toughness of the attacking Menace creature. Do I have a 2 mana? I do not have a 2 mana spell, so it doesn't matter what land I put down. I've got to cut down if I need it. Alright, Fearful Villager, because that'll kick off the day-night cycle. And that'll help out all my other werewolves later. I don't have a lot of werewolves, but I've got enough to make it worthwhile. One. They're going to do 2 spells just to get rid of 1 creature. They're either very desperate already, or they're very confident. And that's already beyond the reach of most of my stuff. But I can go ahead and put down the Flesh Gorger now. Would have preferred not to miss a land drop. Oh, they want to take that. Okay. I don't want them to get draw card advantage. So let's cut this down now. And then we'll put down the Peerless Samurai. Wolves and wolves. Okay. Let's see. Discard a card or lose a creature. They prefer to lose a creature. Okay. Let's see. So if I attack alone, the next but I don't have another spell I can cast right now. So no attacks. We'll stay on defense here. Yeah, they got a creature. They got a creature. I can block that one, though. I'm not sure why they did that. And now they have to sacrifice a creature. War Train Slasher comes down, and we attack. Didn't quite. Oh, never mind. They ran out of ammo and didn't want to fight anymore. It's kind of a misplay, right? They shouldn't have launched their 2/2 right at me. At this rate, we're going to get our 15 wins real soon. So it's a nice mix of pretty much every expansion, right? Every expansion is going to have a Menace creature in it. So we're trying to take advantage of, you know, the day-night transformations of Innistrad. We're trying to take advantage of the ninjutsu ability that came from Kamigawa. We're just trying to sprinkle in and see what unique thing came from each expansion. And when we choose our Menace card, get enough of a variety in there that even though it's always the same threat, it's still a creature with Menace, that we've got some interesting value added to each card if possible. Okay, and we'll bring down the Blade of the Oni. And unless they have 2 Smoldering Eggs, just having a 1/0/4 blocker, this is a way to get around the defenders, right? Unless they just kill me. Great. And I guess that's the best for them. They really get to dig through their deck early on. But this lets us get rid of the egg now before it becomes a threat later. And 3, 4, 5. I don't think I Swamp Cycle that. I think I'd rather just cast it early. Right? We've got 5 out of the 7 mana. And I kind of have some flexibility if I want to do something with it. Here we go. They got plenty of basic land, so Furnace Punisher won't do anything extra to them. The problem with this particular creature is they come equipped with so many really cheap spells. There's a Fading Hope right there. That it can be tough to take out the electrostatic infantry. They can pump them up multiple times so fast. Yeah, there's 6 big points of damage. So let's go ahead and just do this. That's worth it to me. This is the card that usually gets me. Let's put down a Shakedown Heavy. How many instants do they have already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, do you want to trade? You don't want to trade? Burn down the house. Oh, I forgot. It has 6. I might be too tired to be playing this game right now. One more instance takes me. Oh, hello. That wasn't a good game. I messed up horribly. I was looking at them casting that and having it maybe turn into a 5/5, and I tricked my brain by thinking way too far ahead. Yeah, I can't blame the deck on that one. Although that deck usually does get me. I have to have a really specially configured deck to beat that that particular red-blue deck. We'll go one more. Let's see if I can stay awake long enough to think coherently for a change. Rona can go away before she becomes bigger trouble later. Shady Traveler kicks off the day-night cycle for Innistrad. Another Rona. Interesting. Cut you down. Probably should have put out the Furnace Punisher. But we've got a turn here. Yeah, that's a lot of non-basic lands. Let's see if we can punish them for that. Oh, hang on. It's more important to put this out now. I'll probably just discard a card, right? Okay. Let's get that thing taken care of. Now they need a second creature for sure. Thalia with the first strike, okay. Oh, and it attacks. I didn't expect them to attack. Get rid of a duplicate Rafine. What else are you gonna do? That's it? Okay. Get rid of another card. We know you don't want to sacrifice anybody. Just got rid of a land, okay. Do you have a counterspell? No. Well, heck. Auto pay. 6 points they can't block. Another treasure comes back, and Ashen Reaper gets a counter. And 2 points from Punisher. This land counts as a permanent that was put into the graveyard to trigger Ashen Reaper's ability. Skrelv comes in with Summoning Sickness, so who cares? And they attack with everybody. That is not going to be enough. And they get rid of a couple of big creatures. We're not going to block anything. And they knew they couldn't stop all the Menace. So, for those of you who were worried about all these quick turns with Skrelv, Thalia, Rafine, consider, you know, Menace. It's pretty easy. I mean, I heard people talk about banning Thalia, I heard people talk about banning Skrelv, I heard people talk about banning Rafine, so that's the deck right there, is those three cards that were put up against us. They could not get them out in the right order fast enough to be effective. I don't like there's no red here. My opponent has red already. Don't make me miss a land drop at least. I want to at least get the Flesh Gorger out. Here, we'll get rid of you before you get a 2/2 Decayed Zombie at us. There's our second turn. I guess we're swamp cycling just to make sure that we actually get a third land. Yeah, there we are. Okay, what do we want? I think Brimstone Vandal. Triggers the day-night cycle if they do 2 spells and Vandal's still around. Never mind. Oh, they're just going to hit me with it. Or are they going to power this up? They can sacrifice it, right? Is that going to be their whole strategy? Gross. Well, if they have that every turn, this is going to be tough. That could be their whole strategy, but how many of these will they have? Braids. Hello. You got me half dead, and you have more land than I do. I'm not sure what was the... I mean, they don't know what's in my hand. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they had a possession spell and they messed it up? Hey, look! They gave me a Mogotai Soul Ripper. Alright. Well, I may have to look at creating one of those decks. Alright, let's go in and show you the entire menacing deal. Alright. The name of the deck is Everywhere Menace. And overall, when I wasn't misplaying it, it turned out pretty good. I didn't have a ton of removal. We had 3 cut downs. We had 4 Invasion of Azgals, which I think you should count as removal. And we had Overwhelming Remorse, Invasion of Flora. And so that's like, let's say, 4, 7, 8, 9, which is about the bare minimum that I'll do. And I guess if you want to count the Long Reach of Night, that gave us a few more options. So not a ton of removal, but we didn't skimp on it either. And I think the deck kind of speaks for itself in terms of, you know, overloading with Menace, and no matter what we put down, they needed 2 blockers. And if you want a nice aggressive deck, just put down a bunch of Menace creatures, and, you know, if they're only putting down a creature 1 at a time, you know, maybe it'll take them a while to build up so they have enough blockers. And if they get enough blockers, maybe by then you'll have a nice removal card, and you'll either get rid of them before they block you, or you can time it if you want to take, say you're attacking with like a big 5/5 Gloomfang Mauler, and they've got enough to beat it, but maybe one of them is lesser. You could take out one of them before the damage is dealt, and then kill the second one, and come out ahead of the exchange. So there's a number of attacks that you can do combined with Menace, especially during combat, that'll really help you out. And Furnace Punisher, I don't know how useful it was. It kind of depends on which deck you go against, but I didn't mind having it in there. So I kind of like that card, even though it's very situational. But it got me a couple of points of damage every now and then. And some things didn't quite come up in the assemblage battles that we did. Like, I want to get Invasion of Azgal down, or Invasion of Fiora down, and then send the War Train Slasher at it. That's what I want to do. But maybe that I have to create a different deck for that. But I like how they were thinking of, you know, they were thinking of battles. They're thinking of, oh, here's an advantage we can give something if it's attacking a battle, and just to really encourage you to use the card and say, hey, how do we make sure that this gets through? They slapped a Menace on it so that you need to have it blocked by 2 different creatures. And so, you know, either you're going to get your battle, and you're going to get the special card that comes out transformed after the battle's gone, or they're going to have to block an 8/3 with 2 other creatures. So either way, it feels like you're winning. Yeah, I kind of like this deck. It's kind of cool. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.